Good morning, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to HSMAI Europe live show. My name is Fiona Gillen. I head up marketing at the Hotels Network, and I'm also a member of the HSMAI Marketing Advisory Board in Europe. I'm very happy to be hosting today's session. So we're going to be exploring what tactics can be used at your hotel to effectively capture the growing domestic travel market this summer. So we're going to be looking at examples of what creative hotel brands are doing, specifically PentaHotels, which is a really innovative lifestyle brand. And so I'm excited to be able to introduce our guest speaker today, Amanda Du, who heads up e-commerce at PentaHotels. So thank you very much, Amanda, for taking the time to join us today and to share your story. Would you like to say a few words to introduce yourself?
Sure. Thank you so much, Fiona. Hi, everybody. Nice to meet you all here. And I'm Amanda, currently the head of e-commerce for PentaHotels. And I have been in digital marketing field for hospitality industry for more than 8 years in the past. And I have worked and lived in China, Singapore, Malaysia. And since 2019, I'm currently based in Germany, looking after our Europe market. And thank you very much for having me here today. And I'm very much looking forward to our discussions later.
Thank you, Amanda. That's brilliant. So as you know, at the Hotels Network, we've been working with the PentaHotels brand for several years now, supporting them with their direct booking strategy. And it really is an absolute pleasure to work with the Penta team because everybody's so passionate about marketing, passionate about getting creative, offering guests a unique experience. And so I'm really looking forward to hearing more about what PentaHotels are doing in the area of domestic travel and how to capitalize on this increase in demand in the summer. Okay, before kicking off the session, I'd just like to explain a few points. So as for all HSMAI events, I'd like to draw your attention to the special statement regarding antitrust, which you can see on your screen now. I'll not read out the full text, but I just wanted to remind everyone that certain topics are not proper subjects for discussion at HSMAI gatherings, and we should keep in mind that members may be competitors, and so certain subjects should not be discussed, such as room rates or terms of service. As you know, HSMAI Europe is hosting weekly live shows. So these are every Tuesday from 2 to 3 p.m. Central European time. And these discussions focus on the future. And that's why the series is called Tomorrow Starts with HSMAI Europe Now. So you can find out more and you can register for the upcoming events on the hsmai.eu website. And one last thing I thought you might be interested in hearing about is that HSMAI Europe is running a program called Excelling at Customer Centricity. So this is a 5-week program starting on May the 31st, and it's held on Monday afternoons. And I've had a look at the content. It's a really practical course looking at how you can help your teams to implement processes to ensure that everyone is focused on making guests happy. And we all know that this is really critical for getting good online reviews and for driving long-term profitability at your hotel. The best part about this series is that it's totally free for HSMAI members. So again, you can find all the details on the HSMAI Europe website. So don't hesitate to sign up for that. Okay, so we're going to get started for today's topic. I'd love this to be a really lively discussion and interactive, so please don't hesitate to put any comments or any questions you have at any time. And if you're logged into YouTube, you can write directly in the comments section, which you'll see on the right-hand side of your screen. And then we'll answer any questions you see that you send us as we go along. So why do we choose to talk about domestic market today? And I think we've all seen this. So although the borders are reopening, international travel is still very complicated. Some markets in Europe more than others. For example, the UK we know is particularly difficult, where the government is still recommending against international travel, and they've introduced this traffic system where a lot of the countries in Europe are still on the amber list, which means that people returning to the UK have to quarantine for 10 days, do 2 PCR tests upon entering into the UK. So we know that even though things are getting better, it's not going to be a normal summer, unfortunately. All the data that's getting published, everything that we're seeing on the hotel websites with the brands that we work with, is indicating that domestic travel is going to represent a much higher percentage than usual of the hotel's revenue this summer. And so today we wanted to look at how you can attract and how you can convert this important target audience this summer. I also think it's a huge opportunity for you to grow your direct bookings, because if you think about it, if you are trying to attract Japanese tourists, and I totally understand you need to probably go through their local OTAs or third parties, but whenever it's domestic travelers who speak your language, and so they can come to your website and it's in their language, and it's a culture that you know and understand and know how to attract, then there's really this huge opportunity for you to convert these bookings and direct bookings and boost your hotel's profitability by boosting your direct booking channel. Okay, to kick off the discussion, Amanda, maybe not everybody knows the fabulous PentaHotel brand. Maybe you could say a few words to introduce the Penta, please.
Sure, and happily, it's actually the perfect timing. And this year actually marks the brand 50th anniversary of PentaHotels.
Wow.
So this summer, we will unveil our refreshed brand identity. So it's not something completely new to the market, but more of a focus on our strong foundations, which the customers loved about the Penta brand. So Penta is all about social interactions and genuine service in a lively atmosphere. We value the communication, community, and comfort. We also offer a lifestyle neighborhood hotels in the appealing Europe's appealing locations. And also at the heart of every hotel, as you can see on the picture, is our Penta Lounge, which is a unique concept where we merge the bar, restaurant, the lobby, and the reception into one space. So overall, we offer a sweet spot for our customers between a vibrant and laid-back lifestyle for them to rest, to relax, and recharge.
Yeah, it's a fabulous concept. I really love it. And so, thinking about domestic, so which markets are your properties in? What are going to be your domestic markets this summer?
Well, Germany and UK have always been our biggest domestic travelers destination. And for us, we have 9 hotels in Germany, and followed by UK, we have 6 hotels, and then followed by Belgium, Austria, France, Czech Republic, and Russia. Wow. So all of those markets above would be a focus for us to drive domestic travelers this summer.
And have you also seen these sort of shifts in demand patterns, and have seen perhaps a higher percentage of visits from domestic travel compared to previous years? Is this something that you've also identified?
Yeah, sorry. It also varies among those countries. As I mentioned, Germany and the UK has always been big in terms of domestic travels. But for example, Belgium, before COVID, we only see like less than 30% of the domestic travelers. But now since 2020 and until this year, we see more than 50% of the percentage coming from domestic. So there's definitely a huge shift in terms of the mix. Yeah.
And how are you monitoring that? Do you use like Google Analytics to see for example, the breakdown of the visitors to your website? How do you keep your eye on that?
Yeah, Google Analytics, of course, for our brand website. And I think we are trying to combine all the various sources to make sure that we have a holistic picture rather than just a single channel insights. So of course, we have our own CRM, PMS data. We use market insights. We look at OTAs. We use Demand 360. And for besides Google Analytics, for our brand website, we also utilize the Hotel Network's Bench Direct tool, which just released last month to give us a better understanding of how the demand and traffic is trending on our brand website and how we compare with CompStat, right?
How you're comparing to the market,
yeah. Currently, it's very hard to compare with how you did before, and it's historical data has been quite challenging for us to have a real picture. Yeah.
With these sort of shifts in travel patterns, did you have to reshape your product in any way? The services that you offer, is this something that had to change, in fact, the strategy around the hotels themselves?
Yes, and I think there are a few factors besides we have more domestic travelers, but also the shift between business to leisure, the segment mix change, and also the expectations from customers. All in all the changes have made us rethink our offers, how we adapt to those changes. And at the same time, we have all to play into the government regulations, right? The COVID regulations. So I think, luckily as hoteliers, we never lack good ideas and creativity. And I, to be honest, I think we are more creative than ever before.
I totally agree that we've all been forced to totally rethink everything we do and come up with out of the box ideas, that we'd never even have imagined doing a year ago. But today it just seems normal to pivot and to change strategy and to do something else to adapt to this ever-changing environment that we're living in today. If in terms of packages or offers, are there any particular campaigns that you've done that have worked well to capture local guests? Is there anything in any of the properties that have worked well?
Yeah, I have a very good example just to match what we said, to think out of the box. So we had a very successful campaign called La Chambre du Chef for our Belgium hotels, which firstly launched back in November 2020, where dining in the restaurant was really impossible. So our sales team on property came up with this brilliant idea where they transform our connecting hotel room to a bedroom and a dining room with a proper dining table. At the same time, they partner with all those popular restaurants in the city, so the guests were able to actually have a proper good meal on set during their stay. So what we did was really to brought the restaurant experience to our customers. So the campaign lasted from last November until this April, before all the restaurants opened up again, and it always sold out within 24 hours once it was online. Yeah.
But how did you promote that? By email or on your social media or paid campaigns, or how did you generate the awareness of that fabulous service?
Yeah, I think it was later on. It was so popular that we didn't need to really promote. But at the beginning, of course, we utilized all the digital channels that we had. We went, we sent out EDM through our database and also social media and Google Ads. We make sure that we interact with our customers along their journey through on various digital touch points. Yeah.
And if you launch some of this sort of campaign, which is quite original and new, is that something that's managed on a brand level in the headquarters team, or is that something that was managed at a local level within the individual property where the chefs were attending the hotel?
Well, I would say it's a joint effort from hotels and our central support team, we call it. Well, without the local sales and operations team, those type of campaign would never materialize. Yeah. But without the support from the headquarters, like revenue and marketing team, that this type of campaign will never be known to the customer. So I think it's really important to leverage the local knowledge from the hotel side, as well as the expertise from the headquarters to go through these challenging times and to come up with great offers for our customers.
Yeah, and I think it has shown that we really work together. No teams pull together in challenging times, and I think it brings out the best across different departments. So I think that these sort of working with local opportunities and I think also is very interesting. I think obviously this reminds me of something I saw just actually on Sunday night about regional initiatives. So I'm thinking more from a destination marketing point of view. I think it was on the French national TV on Sunday evening, and there was a report around this topic, around the fact that there's going to be more domestic holidays being taken in France this summer than usual. A lot fewer British tourists probably, and so many of the regions in France are investing in marketing campaigns to promote their destination to French tourists. So they were doing, I can't remember, there was like billboard campaigns in the metro in Paris. They had street marketing campaigns. L'Île de Ré, with one of the beautiful islands, was doing influencer campaigns on social media. And I think this is something that perhaps as hotels could look at. Are there any campaigns that are being done around your destination that you can then reshare on your social media or make sure that your potential local guests are aware of? There was even in La Somme, which is in the north of France, they were the region had organized a campaign whereby if a French tourist went and stayed more than 2 nights in a hotel in that region, they were giving a reimbursement of €80
Oh, wow.
for staying with 2 nights at the hotel to really promote the local tourism. And what that the hoteler is saying, this was absolutely fabulous. But obviously the hotels, in order to leverage the most potential out of that sort of campaign, they need to make sure that they're aware that this campaign's happening, and then they can promote it in, as you say, in their e-blasts and their social media, so that other guests are aware of this benefit, and obviously can encourage them to come and stay at their hotel. Because if they've got this extra money, maybe also in addition to their 2-night stay, they might use that money to have dinner in the restaurant at the hotel or something like this. So I think there's a real opportunity to find out what your region or your city is doing to promote its location, and then see how you could communicate that to your audience.
Yeah.
So Amanda, for this summer, are there any? So I think you're going to be focusing now on the anniversary of the brand, or how are you planning to really promote summer and to get the hotel's occupancy levels up this summer?
Well, I think we are looking at different ways and also different channels on how we can promote the summer and really welcome our guests when they really come back. And as you mentioned, I think working with government or tourism board is a very impactful and way to really get your hotel out there and get to know if the destination is a hotspot nationwide, then you as a hotel would definitely benefit more. So we are partnering with the local government to make sure that we jump on those type of campaigns. That's for sure. And also, another great thing I think is about partnering with the local business is also to create something create a new experience that you alone could not be able to do without partnering. So for example, for Leipzig, our hotels are piloting some e-bikes. So to give us our guests more of the nature field when they stay with us.
Ecologically as well. Huh?
Yeah, so it's really great. So we are looking at different ways of doing the packages for summer. And for us, I think we are taking a different approach compared with previous years as well. So we did have some, I would say, packages last year already since COVID hit. And what we are doing this year is really to look at what people are searching for from the keywords volume, and to see what are people really interested in, and then come up with the campaign instead of what we come up with, and really to promote it without knowing whether the customers really want. And
how are you seeing that within Google?
So we partner with the online agency to see what other keywords people are looking for. So in Google Search Console, you can see the keywords volume, and Google Trends, you can see what other topics people are searching for your destination in the local language. So I think that has been, and of course, very important is to check back with your hotel to understand whether those trends you are saying is exactly the same what they are seeing there as well, whether it makes sense for their hotel, whether the attraction is too far away from the hotel. So I think that's what we've been doing since quite a while now. And also for us, as we mentioned earlier, this summer will be the one to remember. As I mentioned, that we were going to launch our 50th anniversary campaign as a huge celebration for our brand. So expect a lot of 1970s stuff and a great price in the end. Unfortunately, I can't tell you more, but please do follow us on social media and get ready for the exciting summer.
Oh, brilliant. Can't wait. Okay, I thought maybe we could have a little break here and maybe look at some other examples that I saw from different brands. I've been looking around online to see what other campaigns are being done by hotel brands. So Marius from HSMAI is sort of running the technical side of things today. So Marius, maybe you could share the slides again, please. And I can just take you quickly through these examples. So I think I wanted to show this one because I thought, before convincing your guests that your property is the best place to stay, I actually think perhaps about communicating how fantastic the destination is, because I think people sometimes think of exotic holidays away, and maybe it's a good thing to remind people as well of the wonders of the country where you're actually living, and that you can offer them a brilliant, unique experience in their own country. So I thought that was a nice example. And then you can obviously create special packages and deals for locals that you promote through your different channels and on your website. And on your website as well, you can use targeting so that, based on IP address, so that you only show these messages to locals so that it resonates with them. If we move on to the next slide, I love this example. So it's how Benchmark Resorts is urging travelers to rediscover the magic of a summer road trip. So I think years ago, before everybody was hopping onto planes to go on an exotic holiday destination, that road trips were really common for summer fun. And so they've done this beautiful campaign, and there really was a lot of effort had been put into building a road trip atmosphere. And they had this dedicated landing page and a promotional video and a whole section where travelers could share their road trip memories and photos from their new road trip. And I thought this is particularly relevant this summer, when it is definitely more complicated to jump on a plane and PCR tests and everything like this. So I think the road trip idea is lovely. And on the next slide, it actually reminds me of this road trip campaign, which is from PentaHotels. Maybe Amanda, you could say a few words about this campaign.
Yeah, exactly what you just mentioned earlier, Fiona. It's about, nowadays people feel safer when they drive their car from one destination to the other, and road trip now coming back. That's also the idea behind this campaign last year. And since we have 9 hotels in Germany, then we thought, why not we offer as a whole package where you can drive from one place to another to really discover the country without flying around.
Exactly. I love the image here with the car and everything. It's really, going back to your roots and authenticity. It's a beautiful image. Yeah. Okay, if we move on to the next slide, this is an example of a courtyard concert at Zeitgeist Hotel, which is in Vienna. So it's all around social distancing, and what they did is they turned their central courtyard into I guess you call it an outdoor concert hall. And this is where guests were able to enjoy this evening of classical music from the bedroom windows of the hotel. So the audience listening to the concert weren't actually in the courtyard. They were actually in the hotel bedrooms and looking out the windows. And so the locals could come just to go to the concert, but then there was also room service. So they were buying bottles of champagne to drink as they listened to the beautiful music. And then they also created packages. So there was an option to stay overnight and have breakfast the next morning, etc. And so this turned out really, really popular with the locals. And so they rolled this out into a whole different series. And it wasn't always classical music. They did all different types of music. And it's something that worked particularly well for the hotel. On the next slide, I like to put this example because it reminds me of a concept of what's called day-ketting. So day-ketting is a concept of you combine day with marketing. So it's basically marketing campaigns based around important calendar dates. And these can be really obvious ones, such as Mother's Day, and more obscure ones, such as Pillow Fight Day, or whatever it may be. So this is an example of a typical one. Mother's Day is coming up in many markets around Europe. And so the hotel has created this lovely package to appeal to locals, and for, I guess, you take your mum for a nice lunch and an overnight stay and things like this. So I think thinking around what are the local dates and important dates for your domestic travelers, and then creating packages and promoting them in your campaigns and on your website can also be something useful to look at. Moving on to the next slide, this is a group in Belgium, and they created a staycation campaign. And what's interesting here is that it can be just one night, or it can actually be multiple nights. And then they've added all these different sorts of services that make it quite a unique experience that appeals to their domestic market. So, for example, if they're saying they're encouraging families to do bicycle trips, and then what they do is they offer luggage transfer for free in between the properties where you can stay. So you can cycle around from one hotel to the other, but you don't have to carry all your luggage with you.
Oh, so that's nice. I would definitely love to go.
Yeah, but then I thought with my 9-year-old twins on bicycle, I wasn't sure about it. But if they were actually going to take my luggage, then maybe I could give it a go. And on the following slide, it's something similar. So it was this was a campaign that Nordic Choice Hotels ran last year. And I remember speaking to their marketing team last year, and they said it gave really, really good results. And then I looked on their website this morning and I saw that they've launched a sort of similar campaign this year. And so it's a campaign where you can stay multiple nights, buy packs of 5 or 10 nights, and then stay at their different properties. And I think this is open actually to international guests as well. But I'm very sure that a high percentage of the guests that are signing up for these packages are domestic travelers. And then the last example I wanted to share, I want to share this. I think it's because of the wording here. I wanted to highlight the importance of making locals feel special. So whatever communication you're doing around the campaigns to your domestic market, you have to say something that makes them feel special. So this hotel created packages and deals for locals, again, being promoted on their website and shown only to domestic travelers, because it would seem a bit weird if this message popped up and you weren't from Sweden. So, but I think what's lovely here is the wording. We love locals. So I think it's really engaging, and it's a way where you sort of feel a bit special. So I don't know, Amanda, if you agree, but I think for any campaigns you're doing, it is thinking what image do you use, what wording do you use, and I think with PentaHotels, this is very important, how you engage with your guests.
Yeah, definitely. And I think as you talk about now here, it's very important to create the localized content, but also more important to target the right people.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's important to choose the right tool, like for your marketing messages, how you want it to get out
and make it more relevant.
Yeah.
Marius, we can stop sharing the slides now. Thank you. So different topic, Amanda. We actually just posted a blog post, I think it was last week, on the concept of digital nomad, because there's also I know, for example, in the team at the Hotels Network, our headquarters are based in Barcelona, but there's people in the team who have gone to live in different locations for 2 months, 3 months, because our offices aren't fully open at the minute due to the restrictions in Spain. And so we call this idea the digital nomad trend. And are you also targeting this audience? Is it too complicated, or is it something that you think is possible to go after?
Well, I think digital nomad existed already before COVID, but definitely got more and more popular and got accelerated by COVID situation. Everybody is doing remote working, and we're definitely looking at how we could capture this group of people. We created earlier this year, or even last year, we created the long stay packages for people to stay with us longer, where they can work remote or where they can't find a nice place to work from. But also, what I think we did even extra mile this year, where we did some renovation in Wiesbaden, where we converted some room to the studio apartment, where you have the kitchen section and a bit bigger extra space where you have the work zone. So to make it really comfortable and remote friendly for those digital nomads, and to attract them to come and stay with us, to change the working environment a bit.
Yeah, I think if it is going to be more of a medium longer stay, then it's maybe quite difficult if it's just a traditional hotel room.
Yeah.
There has to be some sort of adaptation.
Yeah, and also in some other hotels, for example, in Birmingham, we actually signed up to a remote working platform. So as you saw earlier, with our cozy Penta lounge located on the 2nd floor of the hotel in Birmingham, it's actually naturally nice and quiet, and provides a great, well-equipped, relaxed place for remote workers. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't think about that. That's really good. And so, what other channels are you using? You mentioned e-blasts before. What sort of channels are working best for you to connect with your local audience?
Well, I think all the digital channels are quite crucial for us during the pandemic, and we try to really capture the whole journey and along digital touch points. But it was also what worked, what really stood out was our email communication, the newsletters. And what surprised us and what worked extremely well was the 2 letters that wrote by our managing director, Rohit Bachman. Once when the COVID hit, and also later on another letter he wrote personally and to send out to our customers, which showed the brand, showed us that we showed the customers that we really care about them. So we got great feedback and also responses from our customers. So I think more than ever, people are looking for, and people need this type of emotional engagement with brand. So we definitely here not only looking at the open rate, click rate, conversions, but also to see how the people are responding to our messages.
And again, that's something that probably a year and a half ago you would never have imagined doing.
No.
It's a totally different way of communicating that we've all we've all sort of had to adapt to be able to adapt to the current situation. What about social media? Because I think social media, I've seen some hotels brands being using social media, not so much as to sell during these months, but more to communicate with and engage and keep a relationship with their potential guests for the future. And I've also seen some brands who previously maybe focused on their brand social channel, and then they've now also created separate channels for or separate profiles for their individual properties, which I guess again could be more related to local. I don't know if that's something you've considered at PentaHotels, or do you have one profile for the group as a whole, or do you use different languages, or do something specifically at property level to target your domestic market?
Yeah, so far as social media, yes, we do have a brand level account, and we have been spending a lot of time and effort on building up the brand level image on social. But actually, this year, starting soon, we are going to engage more with our hotel level accounts. Every hotel we do have a social media account, but in the past, I think we haven't really been focusing a lot on how we empower the team at the local hotel level to really bring out the best of what we can offer and show it on social media. So it's definitely something also part of our strategy for this summer, to get our hotel level social media accounts more active, more engaging, and more attractive to our customers.
That sounds great. And remember, everybody listening in, if you've got any questions, don't hesitate to put them directly into the comments part on the right-hand side of your screen. Another topic, what about content marketing? How important is content for you for communicating with your domestic market? Blog posts, what sort of things are you doing in that area?
Well, we always say, we have been saying content is king, right? And content is still king, I have to say. And the COVID has added another dimension to content marketing, because people now want to feel safe and feel reassured of the safety and hygiene standards of the hotel. So it's definitely added another pillar to our content marketing stream. So at the same time, customers are also looking for insights and tips provided by us and by local teams, and they see us more as a local guide instead of just a room description on the website. So definitely the blog posts are helping, and definitely a good way to showcase what is great about destination, not only about our hotels. And within the content marketing, I think what we have been really focusing on, and as I mentioned earlier, was also the SEO driven content, what people are really searching for, what keywords are there, are relevant to people. So localized and not only, and more importantly, personalized content is really getting more and more important. Like, for example, we are working on our new website at the moment, which will be launched 1st of July. Don't forget to check it out.
Yeah, you must be very busy, so thank you for taking the time to join us today.
No problem. Yeah, but I think the content is a huge side for us to take into consideration when we are building this website, to make sure that we offer enough localized neighborhood stories for our customers, and at the same time to provide them valuable and personalized content that serves the need. Yeah.
And whenever you talk about the insights that you share, is it quite often related to the destination itself? So, for example, attractions that they could visit, or concerts that they could go to, or is that the sort of insights and tips you share?
Yeah, that's one big part, like what other attractions people would like to check out. And also we work with local team to make sure we have some insider tips, where those small restaurant, maybe small bakery that you don't see it on Google or other big website, we make sure that we also provide some tips from our employees at the hotel level to give guests a different experience.
Yeah, that reminds me, there was one of our clients we work with in Paris, and it was a beautiful boutique hotel in the Marais, and they did a campaign for a month long, and every day they promoted one of the beautiful local services that was within the sort of 200 square meter radius of their property. So there was the local baker, it was just all, or some like gifts that you could take, or clothes or anything, but all these beautiful boutique little hotel boutique shops that were around the hotel. And on the hotel's website, they actually every day they promoted one of their neighbors, and then it sort of generated this local effect, and then each of the other businesses also started promoting the other businesses, because at the end of the day they weren't competitors, but they were just, by promoting each other, they were just sharing how unique and beautiful this little area in Paris was. So it was a really lovely campaign, and it worked really well for them. And I think they started it more out of the goodness of their hearts, and then it really worked very well for them.
That's really nice.
This is a very hard question. So see if you can answer, or some part. So what would you say are the key elements? So 3, 4, 5, whatever you think that you take into account whenever you're building a strategy around attracting domestic visitors. What are the different things you take into account?
Well, I think first of all, you need to identify your target audience, who you are targeting. Mm-hmm. And secondly, to know what your customer wants and needs. Coming back, we look at Google Trends, we look at keywords, what people are really looking for. And then to match your offerings and marketing efforts to this target market or target audience. And then at the same time, don't forget to do a competitor check. I would say I would always to see what other hotels are doing and what is our unique selling points here. And of course, all in all, to make sure that you have a great content marketing strategy behind every campaign you launch, to make sure that you convey the same message across all your digital channels. That would be my tips. Yeah.
And if you had one piece of advice, one piece of advice to hoteliers who want to capture more of this, domestic market this summer, what would it be? What's the one key you think?
That's a really difficult question. But I think even before, when we think about any packages, any offer, any strategy, as a hotelier, it's always important to bear in mind that we are here not only offering a hotel room or accommodation. We are here to provide a memorable experience to our customers. So make sure that you create an experience that your local travelers are craving for after this craziness of the COVID times.
Yeah. Here to that. Okay, so we're a little bit ahead of time. We've been really, really efficient, Amanda. So I'll wrap up the session. I know how busy our listeners are, and so I'll not take up any more of your time. I hope you've enjoyed the discussion as much as we have. I'd like to thank HSMAI Europe team for organizing today, and a special thanks to Amanda for being so open and sharing Penta's strategy around capturing the domestic market.
Thank you. Thank you for having me here.
You're very welcome. If anyone's got any more questions, or you've got any ideas or things you want to talk about related to domestic travel, or anything to do with hotel marketing in general, Amanda and myself are easy to find on LinkedIn, so feel free to reach out and connect with us. Thank you for taking the time to join us today and listening. I hope we've given you some ideas about different tactics you could use to capitalize on this growing demand from domestic market and local guests this summer. And we hope to see you again soon at one of the weekly HSMAI Europe live sessions. So I wish you all a really fantastic summer season, and may the guests flood to your properties, so both locals and international visitors. Thanks again for listening, and we'll speak to you soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you.